Ohio State football continued its winning streak with a convincing 49-14 victory over Marshall at Ohio Stadium. On paper, it appeared to be another dominant performance by the Buckeyes. However, dig deeper, and it becomes clear that not everything is running as smoothly as the score suggests. While the offense, particularly the running game, showed tremendous promise, glaring issues with the special teams and some struggles on defense have sparked concerns for head coach Ryan Day. Special teams, a point of focus after some poor performances in recent seasons, once again showed vulnerability. Ohio State's kicker, Jaden Fielding, had an uncharacteristically rough outing, sending 3 kickoffs out of bounds, gifting Marshall favorable field position. It's one thing to have an off day, but when those mistakes repeatedly hand the opposition the ball at the 35-yard line instead of the 25, the pressure begins to mount. Fielding's struggles led to his being benched at halftime, replaced by Austin Snyder. Though special teams are a collective effort, these individual errors highlight a persistent issue within the Buckeyes unit. It's a part of the game that can have ripple effects, especially in closer contests against higher-tier opponents. Despite these special teams hiccups, Ohio State's run game was the shining star of the day. After a slow start, the Buckeyes' rushing attack exploded in the second quarter, with Quinshon Judkins and Tervion Henderson running circles around Marshall's defense. The duo combined for 156 yards in the second quarter alone, helping Ohio State to rack up a total of 280 rushing yards. Judkins, in particular, demonstrated exceptional field vision and explosive speed, which allowed him to carve through Marshall's defense with ease. The offensive line, while still showing signs of inconsistency, gave just enough room for the running backs to shine. Though it's worth noting that Marshall is no Georgia, this level of performance will reassure Buckeye fans about the team's offensive firepower. However, on defense, things weren't as solid as Ohio State fans have come to expect. Marshall's offensive line managed to hold their own against the Buckeyes' defensive front, particularly in the first quarter. Even though key defensive tackle Tyleik Williams was sidelined with an injury, it was surprising to see the herd move the ball effectively, especially with quick passes and quarterback keepers. Marshall's early success is a reminder that Ohio State's defense, while formidable, is not impenetrable. Eventually, the Buckeyes adjusted, limiting Marshall to just 264 total yards, but the early struggles could offer a blueprint for future opponents. The game underscored the depth advantage that Ohio State enjoys over teams like Marshall. While the herd managed to hang around for the first quarter, they couldn't keep pace with Ohio State's talent, especially under the heat on the turf. Depth is a critical factor in college football, and in this case, it allowed the Buckeyes to dominate as the game wore on. In the end, Ohio State's depth and offensive talent were too much for Marshall to handle. But as the Buckeyes look ahead to tougher matchups, the question remains, can they clean up the mistakes on special teams and shore up the defense before facing elite competition? Stay subscribed for more videos.